The snow-covered neighborhood lay in eerie silence on Christmas Eve, an unsettling stillness hanging over the streets like an unspoken warning. The holiday lights, strung up along houses and trees, flickered with a strange uncertainty, casting long, jagged shadows that seemed to move on their own. The cold wind whispered through the bare branches, a ghostly murmur that carried across the deserted roads and drifted into homes where warmth and safety were only illusions. Inside a house bathed in the soft glow of the fireplace, the flames flickered weakly, their embers barely clinging to life. A cup of hot cocoa sat untouched on a nearby table, the steam curling into the air before dissipating into the cold emptiness of the room. The faint hum of a Christmas movie played from the television, its cheerful music feeling out of place in the thick silence that had settled over the space. The house, decorated with cheerful ornaments and garlands, felt somehow lifeless, as though the warmth of the season had been drained from its walls. The sense of solitude was heavy, thickening with every passing second. Then, a knock. It was sharp, precise, breaking through the quiet like a sudden clap of thunder. It echoed through the house, lingering in the air as though waiting for a response. The wind outside grew stronger, howling against the windows, rattling the panes as though something wanted inside. Another knock followed, louder this time, more insistent. The air in the room shifted, cold presence creeping in, unseen but undeniably there. Outside, the freshly fallen snow was pristine, undisturbed, except for a single footprint, stark against the untouched white. And across the street, beneath the flickering glow of a failing lamppost, a figure stood tall and motionless. It wore a tattered Santa suit, the fabric hanging loosely from its skeletal frame. No face was visible, only an overwhelming sense of dread emanating from its very presence. It did not move, yet the sensation of being watched grew unbearable. The warm comfort of the fireplace dimmed, its glow shrinking away, as if retreating from whatever was lurking outside. The door creaked slightly on its hinges, as though something was pressing against it, testing its strength. The air inside became frigid, breath visible in the dim light. The oppressive silence was broken by a faint scratching sound from the window, slow, deliberate, an unwelcome intrusion into the quiet. The shadows in the room twisted unnaturally, stretching in directions that defied logic. The feeling of being watched intensified, heavy and suffocating. The sound of sleigh bells suddenly rang out, but they were distorted, drawn out and warped, grotesque imitation of something meant to bring joy. The bells grew louder, reverberating through the walls, vibrating the very air in the room. Then, something else, low whispers, unintelligible, circling the space like a rising wind. Then the lights went out, darkness swallowed everything. A breath, shallow, slow, deliberate, brushed against the silence, impossibly close. Then, a whisper, its voice like dry leaves scraping across pavement, seeped through the void. Naughty. The presence moved. It did not walk, it glided, shifting through the darkness like a cold breeze carrying the scent of decay. The room seemed to close in, the shadows pressing tighter, swallowing every ounce of warmth. The sleigh bells continued, clanging out of rhythm, each chime feeling like a countdown towards something unseen. The fireplace, once a symbol of comfort, now stood as a lifeless relic, its ashes shifting as though disturbed by something unseen. A sudden, deafening crash echoed through the house, a shattering sound, like breaking glass, followed by the soft creak of something heavy moving just beyond sight. The cold deepened, creeping into the bones, making each breath a struggle. The whisper returned, closer now, curling around the ears like a breath from the abyss. Then, a single, blood-curdling scream pierced the night. Christmas morning arrived with deceptive peace. Snowflakes drifted lazily from the sky, settling gently over the houses, covering the neighborhood in a pristine white blanket. The street stood empty, silent, as if the events of the previous night had been nothing more than a forgotten nightmare. But the house remained open. The front door, slightly ajar, creaked in the soft morning breeze. Inside, the Christmas tree lights flickered weakly, struggling to hold onto their glow. The warmth from the fireplace was long gone, leaving only cold, lifeless embers in its wake. The air held a strange stillness, as though time itself had stopped within its walls. And there, on the floor, lay a single Santa hat, stained deep with something dark, something long dried. The ornaments on the tree, once bright and merry, now seemed dull, drained of their festive glow. The room smelled faintly of something metallic, something wrong. Somewhere in the house, faint laughter echoed, a hollow, haunting sound that drifted through the empty rooms. The air felt heavy, dense with something unseen, something lingering. The laughter did not belong to joy, it was mocking, knowing. It belonged to something that had been there before, something that had not left. Christmas would never be the same again.